Pietra from the Arcadia Public Library, and welcome to Funology. This is a program designed especially for kids in 3rd through 8th grade, and this is how it works. We present a project, tell you all the supplies you need, and then show you how to do the project in very simple steps. Today's project comes from a book called STEAM Kids in the Kitchen, and I actually pulled this book from the shelves of the Arcadia Public Library. It's a fantastic book with lots of fun activities inside, including the activity that we're going to do today. Thank you to STEAM Kids for permitting us to use this book, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to highlight one of the activities inside, which was created by Jamie Hand. Today we're going to be doing something called salt art. Really fun. And here's what you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a thick piece of paper or cardboard or even foam board. And I picked up some foam board from the dollar store. You're also going to need some glue, some white glue. You'll need some salt. I've got some salt here. And some food coloring. I actually have lots of different colors of food coloring. So I've got some pink and some blue and some yellow. You'll need a pencil and you'll need a container. The container could be a cardboard box, it could be a plastic container like this, and I'll talk about what we're going to use this for a little bit later. Lastly, you might also want to cover your work surface. I covered mine with a plastic table cover. That's what the orange coloring is that you see here. Okay. Now, I have to admit that this project is one of the funnest projects that I've done in a long time, but it was also very messy. So I would encourage, if you're going to be doing this project from home, that you also ask an adult for some help. That adult can help you to determine a good place to do your work, but also to help you maybe with the food coloring and managing the salt and anything else that you might need help with. Now that we have the supplies that we need, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to grab our foam board or your thick piece of paper or your cardboard, whatever you're going to be using. And then you're also going to grab a pencil and you're going to create a design. I created something very simple, and you're just going to begin to kind of trace it out on your board. I actually did an underwater theme, so I have some waves and a fish, and it looks like this. Very simple. I don't know if you can see it because it's traced very lightly. Once you have your design, you're going to grab your white glue. And what you're going to do with this glue is you're just going to use the glue and trace your pencil markings. So I'm actually just kind of putting my glue down and tracing it along the places where I have my pencil markings. Okay. Once I've done that, now I'm going to take the salt, and this is where it starts to get a little messy, and I'm going to just sprinkle the salt on top of the glue. Anywhere I have glue, I'm going to sprinkle some salt. And I just want to cover the glue with salt. And I did just a little section here. The extra salt that I have, this is where that container comes in. I'm going to just put that inside this container. Just helps to keep things nice and neat, but I can also take the container and reuse the salt later if I decide to do this project again. Now, we're ready for the fun part, but also kind of the messy part. We can grab our food coloring, and then we're just gonna take a little bit of food coloring and just kind of drop it onto the salt. You don't need a lot of food coloring, just a drop. And you don't need to drop it everywhere. You just drop a little bit in a small section of your project. So here you can see that I have a white line of salt, And now I'm just going to drop a little food coloring down. And you can see that that food coloring begins to spread along the salt. I'm going to continue working on my project, and I'm going to use food coloring to cover all the areas where I have salt and glue. Once I'm done, then I've got my salt art masterpiece. Now, the first time that I did this project, I was just experimenting, and this is how my project came out. Looks like this. The cool thing about this is that I was really impressed with the colors, the way that the food coloring spread through the glue and the salt. I was also impressed by the texture of my picture. That salt really gave the picture a lot of texture, which you may not be able to see here on the screen. But when I looked at this project, I decided I can do a little bit better than this. So I decided to do my project again. And this time I experimented a little bit. I added a little bit more design, and I took my time with my food coloring, and I tried different colors. And this is how my second project came out. A little bit different. So, I encourage, if you are going to try this project at home, that you try experimenting a little bit. Try different designs, try using different colors, and have some fun with it. And if you're looking for another great project idea, I encourage you to visit the Arcadia Public Library's online catalog. There you can search for lots of fantastic craft books for kids, just like these. Thank you all for visiting Funology, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.